Andy, first of all, tell us a little bit about Howard's House, people who've never actually been here before.
Well, Howard's House is a small 10-bedroom country manor house, in a quintessentially English village. And pretty well much what we do is quintessentially English. The food and the food philosophy is pretty much field to fork, and everything that we source as local as we possibly can.
When you say field to fork, I mean you really do mean a few steps up the garden.
Yeah,
for a lot of food.
Yeah.
When did that all start?
Initially, I guess since really I've sort of been here, it's always been in place, but it's been a real passion for me and particularly for Simon, that we wanted to be not necessarily fully sort of self-sufficient, but at least a lot more than what we were. So we're probably doubled the capacity that we were sort of this time last year, and that was at least 75% in sort of like the prime sort of summertime. With anything from sort of salads to fruits and things like that.
And how important is that for guests when they come here to actually, because you can pop the top car park, you can park and you can see everything growing up around there. How important is that for guests to see that?
I mean, the great thing is the fact that it's either myself or one of the guys are going to be out and around the garden picking stuff and getting things ready for service. So the contact that you get with the customer is unique, because I could be in the garden saying, yeah, I'm picking this and this is what I'm going to be doing with it. Or they'll suddenly see us running up the kitchen in the middle of service because we run out of raspberries or something. Do you know what I mean? But it's there, it's live, it's for real. There's no sort of false pretenses, there's no pretending, it is what it is, and you see it for yourself.
And that's Howard's House really, isn't it? It's not really pretentious, it's a beautiful old country house hotel. But there's no. It's not filled with gadgets and gizmos.
No, it's very. We try to be, what we are and who we are. We don't try to pretend to be something that we're not. We're very honest. We're very kind of down to earth. The service is about hospitality and sort of, pretty much it's our friends that are coming to stay here. People that have been coming here for years and years and years, and the reason why they come here is exactly for that. It's because we are what we are and we do what we do.
What about the food? We've talked sort of that you're growing it, but what type of food? What sort of things can people expect if they're coming here?
A lot of it obviously depends on the season. During the shoot season with the game and stuff, a lot of game, and it's amazing actually how much game we actually sell. People will actually come here for game, and that's non-residents as well. So it's not just people that stay here knowing the fact that you've got seasonal fare. People will come here because they know, they can get a good partridge dish or a nice bit of venison or something like that during the game season. When the fishing season opens, nadder trout, which we cure and we smoke that as well. So
and you smoke, that's all done here on the premises?
All done here, yeah. So depending on how long like the fishermen are staying for. So if they're on a couple of nights, which they do, because once they don't really go to Nadder just to fish the once, they seem to be there for a couple of days. So what we offer is when they go on their first day, they give the fish in, and then we cure it and we smoke it, and then by the time they leave, either on day 2 or day 3, they've got the fish to take with them. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's quite unique.
Because I think what we need to say to people that we're in Tefon Device, and through Tefon Device the stream runs through. That stream feeds down into the River Nadder.
Yeah.
I mean they are in some cases just walking distance away. You can't get your food much fresher than that, can you?
No, and the game, when it's the game season as well, like the pheasants and the partridge that you see, it comes from the Tefon estate. So. And
that's literally what we're sitting at. We're actually sitting on as part of the
right
Tefon
on the estate. Yeah.
I mean that's such an unusual thing to have, here in a small Wiltshire village. It's wonderful.
What the amazing thing is the amount of different food items, should we say, or the amount of ingredients that you can actually get really, really local.
With here, I think sometimes people don't sort of realise, you know, you can just come here. You can just come here for dinner. You don't have to stay here.
No.
And it's something I know that people who live in the village are really proud of.
Yeah, you know, and we support the village as well. You know, particularly with the village fair and stuff like that. We sponsor
Well, you supply the
catering.
food. I think
Yeah.
you supply the food for the village fete, and in the evening they have an evening party, and people I know fight for a ticket.
Yeah.
Because they know that you guys supply the food. How important is it to be a part of the village?
Particularly for me as well. Actually, not living in the village and coming sort of almost from an outsider in, and then meeting the locals and our regulars and that side of it. You know, you certainly do feel part of the village, even though I don't live here, if that makes sense, because of, you know, what we do.
Yeah.
And how we do it. I mean, you know, afternoon tea in the winter, for instance, in front of the log fire, lovely. We did like a festive afternoon tea for then. Whereas now, afternoon tea out on the terrace, you know,
It's lovely. Well, summer here. That's one of the things. This place really, I suppose, it lends itself to all the seasons because you've got big log fires you can have here in the winter, but in the summer it's just got beautiful gardens.
Yeah, it comes to itself, and then, you know, of course, summer lobster, you know, seafood out on the terrace, nice bottle of wine.
Lovely.
Walking distance for the villagers. It's great, you know.
Perfect. One of the other things, just before because we need to let you go to get into the kitchen, but there's an opportunity also people here to have a space here for private dining, which I think people love, don't they?
Yeah, so that again really sort of came into effect really properly, I would say, last year. And now that's beginning to sort of, you know, progress. It's beginning to grow. Lovely little private dining in the coach house, which is great for us. We've got a small little satellite kitchen there that we can work in the back whilst they're enjoying themselves out the front. But again, it's away from the main building, so it is great for parties where you can let your hair down and make a bit of noise without sort of interacting with everybody else and getting into trouble. But then also it's there for conferences and meetings and that kind of stuff during the day. So it is, you know, it's a nice little workspace there that could have potential.
Yeah. Well, this place really is. It's such a lovely retreat, isn't it? It's very discreet. It's very quiet. It's very understated. But it's. I just, having known it through the years, I know that there are a lot of people who do gravitate towards this place. As I said, better let you get back out into the kitchen. But thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.